so I've never went for doing solos.
So when did you start playing?
I actually started playing when I was about 16, against my own wishes. I didn't want to play bass guitar when I started. Friends all wanted to play guitar. I played guitar, and I got stuck with a bass guitar, and really hated it because, first of all, the strings were they were like playing piano strings. They were about that high off the neck. I could barely press down on them. I was 16 years old, and it really was not a lot of fun. And back then, you're 16 years old. Bass players don't get girls. So that was one of my biggest things that I really didn't really want to play it. But I stuck with it and just started taking some lessons. And little did I know, in my lessons, the bass player that I was taking them from would be the bass player for Foreigner when I grew up. So it was a big influence to go see the early developments of Foreigner start and watching them practice in a warehouse and just knowing really where they were going to go. And 3-4 years later, they were hitting radios and they were gone, and he was gone playing with them. And so it really, and he was a good teacher and he was very kind with me and taught me a lot of things. And just so that was about my first couple of years of playing, 16, 17, 18, and that's what I based everything on at that time.
It's great to have that kind of notoriety as a starting point.
Yeah, it was really big to see somebody that come over your house, drive over your house, and of course he always was trying to sell me something like a bass or something to make money at first.
Well, of course.
So, and of course, my parents would buy me things, and he'd give me things, and we got close as friends. And every time he needed money, he'd come over and give me a lesson. And that stopped soon after time because he obviously started playing quite a bit, and things got busy, and he got busy. So, and I just kept going from there and just played, in little bands and stuff like this around town. So.
What about your family? Are they musical?
Not really. My mom, she sang to me, and I think she got me going into that, where she really inspired me to do it. My father's the one who really pushed the instruments on me, he got me the guitars. He would work extra jobs just to buy me guitars or drums or basses at the time.
That's
so
awesome.
He was the one who really made it happen, and my mom's the one who inspired it to happen. So that was kind of a blessing, So.
What are a couple of your fondest musical memories?
Oh wow, I got quite a few from playing my first.
We'll try and keep them PG.
Right. Well, playing my first gigs, in school, high schools, along with the disappointing memories, going and playing Battle of the Bands, and having someone hurt real bad, and back then we had flash bots, and we hurt somebody real bad. So it was tough. But the fondest gigs were actually when I was older, and I ended up touring with Gary Puckett from Union Gap. And I played with him for several years, and he's a gentle, nice, wonderful man. And I'd have to say that was my high in my career. Being thrown around in limousines and being picked up in at hotels with those guys holding GP music. And it's just like a dream come true for a kid. Also toured in Japan. I did 16 cities in Japan. So I've had a lot of national. Everything was like in my 40s was the most. Everything was very fast, and I did a lot of playing in a lot of places in my 40s.
Very cool. Do you ever get nervous today before a performance?
I get nervous all the time because it doesn't come naturally for me to just play or entertain in that sense. It's really hard for me to really concentrate. I can't play in front of my mom. When she used to come to shows when I was a kid or a little younger, I'd clam up, I'd freeze, I'd get real sweaty with her, nervous. But I still get nervous because it keeps me whole. It keeps the ego in check, keeps everything in frame, Because I'm only because there's always somebody better, there's always somebody worse. So I only just take it as as humble as I can,
How would you describe your style?
Wow, that's pretty hard to describe because I've played every kind of music. I mean, from reggae to rock to jazz to funk.
Do you gravitate to
fusion.
a particular style?
I gravitate to a more. One of my favorite bass players is a guy named Nathan East, and he plays with Eric Clapton. He plays with a whole slew of musicians, from everything of style music to, like to Anita Baker to Richard Marx to these people that. So he's always been one of my big influences because he plays fluent. He doesn't overplay. He doesn't underplay. He fills all the holes just right. And I really think that because last thing, a lot of bass players can overplay, or they put too much into a song. Where I believe there's a spot and a time and a place for every note, and that's one thing I think that's really, really important to me.
Keep it tasteful.
Right. I mean, you got to keep it. You got to play the bass. You got to keep the foundation there, but you also have to know when there's a hole, and without overbearing or doing something really stupid or sounding bad, it's got to be tasty. It's got to be played well. Leland Steyer, he's like that, and Nathan East are like that. They're wholesome bass players. So those are the guys I really like.
If you had the opportunity to change something in the music industry today, what do you think that would be?
Well, that's hard to say because there's so many things that are a positive in the music industry today. But there's also many things that are negatives. I guess it's always going to be that way. Positive things that I would change is the fact is that I really believe a lot of these kids are blessed with the talents that they have today, and the fact is that it's a lot more easier to get yourself noticed, especially with the internet and the capable of YouTube. Where back then it was 1,000 to 1 if you would make it into music or professional. Now it's a lot easier, but it's definitely a fly by night thing. They come in, they're hit one day, and next thing they're gone the next day. So that does, music changes fast that way. So.
And the important question: the Eagles or Spinal Tap?
Well, probably a little bit of both for me. Probably more Eagles than Spinal Tap, but because I never had those really crazy days of just running around, and I never got into partying much. I was always the kind of guy went back to the hotel and turn on the TV and watch movies or something like this. But it wasn't Spinal Tap for me. It was more Eagles, very very straightforward and very serious about playing.
Awesome. Thanks, Lee. Great talking to you.
Thank you.
He called me in his office one day.